Hello, everyone. Bob Baker here with a very, what do you call it, wishful thinking background here. I'm in St. Louis, where for the last few days we've been snowed in, a lot of snow and ice, and I thought I would have a tropical ocean, front background just to make myself feel a little bit warmer than I have in the recent days. But my heart is warm, and I'm really looking forward to doing this presentation for you today. And let's just go ahead and kind of jump right into it. We got a nice audience here on the Zoom call, and so whether you're watching it live now or you're watching the replay, a lot of people will probably watch the replay later. Welcome. I really hope you lean in and take some notes, and I'm going to share some ways that you can get your message out into the world in an easier way. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. So I'm calling this Easy Social Media for Purpose-Driven Creators. Easy social media, because a lot of people, well, let's look at that title. A lot of times people think, oh, social media is hard, it's confusing, all sorts of things. And for purpose-driven creators, which is a term that I've been using a lot lately. So let's go ahead and just discuss what is a purpose-driven creator. So in my mind, or the way that I define it, it's someone with a talent, story, a message, or an experience that they want to share to improve people's lives. And this group of people can include, it's not limited to these, but it includes musicians, authors, YouTubers, podcasters, bloggers, coaches. And this is either you are currently doing that, or maybe you aspire to be an author or a YouTuber, a podcaster, or maybe reinvigorate a YouTube channel. Maybe you started years ago and it's left dormant. So, but if you describe yourself in this way, coaches, course creators, visual artists, wellness experts, and there's so many more here that just kind of gives you an idea of the breadth of the type of people. And also, it could be people who have faced a major life challenge. You've had a loss of a person or pet or some other loss, a career change, a health crisis that either you're experiencing or a loved one is. And you feel inspired to turn that experience into something meaningful that helps others. It could also be you're a retiree or an empty nester, or maybe even a widower, or you're divorced, and you want to dedicate your time now to a passion project, build a platform, or leave a legacy for future generations. But I like this term, purpose-driven creator, because obviously it's somebody who wants to share what they have. They want to create content to share this message, but it's really based on wanting to help people. And so, while there's nothing wrong with, pursuing fame or fortune, there's nothing wrong with those things. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money from an endeavor. But I really want to attract and speak to people that are primarily driven by, I just got this message or this gift or this talent that I just want to get out into the world because it helps people, right? And so let me ask you, if you could put it in the comments there, and I will check them, like what type of purpose-driven creator are you? How would you describe yourself? Are you on one of those things there on that list? There's many things there. Again, it's not limited to this. Or maybe you fall into this category here. But I would just love it. I'll get out of the PowerPoint and check on comments here in just a bit. But I would love to know kind of who is in the audience and how you'd think of yourself in those terms. And so today we're going to be talking about easy social media, but I'm going to do it through the lens of what I'm calling the 5 pillars of social media, which is basically the 5 main types of posts that are easy to create and meaningful to share. And those are really 2 important things. Again, people feel so burdened by social media that it doesn't come easy to some people. I've been doing this a long time. I've pretty much embraced every popular platform that's come down the pike over the decades. And so, yeah, I tried to make it easy on myself and not overcomplicate things. And then something that's meaningful to share that's, again, it's going to help people who you are uniquely qualified to help. Let me just take a quick look at, see if there's anything new. Anna says that you consider yourself a coach or a life coach for professional moms. That's cool. Craig, hi, Craig. Musician. Billy Caldwell, musician, songwriter, performer. Hey, great to see a lot of my musicians. Those are probably my longest running, like people that I've connected with over the decades through my music marketing books and so on. Same thing with Kim there. I want to start running a blog in retirement, sharing reviews of books and races. Lucia says, I'm a storyteller and creative dramatics teacher and performing artist. Oh, that's awesome. Tracy's a speaker and a coach. I hope I'm getting that name right. Zakiah from New Jersey. Yes, I resonate with being a purpose-driven creator. I suffered a loss. I wanted it to mean something. And now a doula. Awesome. That's cool. Jennifer's a singer, a writer, a motivator. Elizabeth's a president of the board. I'm not sure what UCOL, probably University of something. I want to reach out to the community. Also working on putting together classes, modules. Michelle is a singer, songwriter, author of animal stories. And Deb, recently certified death midwife. Oh, wow. Very cool. So yeah, that's a pretty wide range of things. Yeah, like photographer wasn't mentioned there, but anything I guess that falls under visual artist. Anyway, so great to see this wide range of people. So you have something that you want to share, and especially through it, look at it as if how it's going to help people. So we're going to talk about these five pillars, but let's talk about why there's well, first of all, the benefits of sharing your message online, because there are so many of them. And yeah, we're going to be touching on that here soon. All these benefits of being able to reach people without having to be in the room. I did a kind of a workshop where I went through the story of my life and how dating back to the 80s when I started publishing a local music newspaper and how that led to books and how the books led to other opportunities. And it occurred to me when I started publishing this newspaper that it was the first time that I was able to reach people who weren't in the room with me. So prior to that, I did a lot of things like played in bands. I was in the theater. I did stand-up comedy, improv comedy. I was very active in the arts, even though I started off as a really shy kid. No one would have thought that I would have done all these extroverted things. But prior to starting that newspaper, I had to be in the room with people to be able to influence them, to be able to impact them and share my gifts. And even though it was a print publication back in the 80s, when I started this newspaper, I could distribute this and people could read it without me being physically present. I could be sleeping and somebody could be reading an article that I had written. So that was kind of like mind blowing to me at the time. And then when the internet came about and I got active online, it was even tenfold that, right? So there's just so many advantages to sharing your message online, and you just never know who's going to come across a message that's going to uplift and inspire people. Before we hit the recording, I heard some lovely testimonials from people who were meeting me for the first time on Zoom and saying how much my work had touched them. And so it's a blessing to be able to be in that position. And I want you to get that same benefit and hearing those comments from people and knowing that you're doing good in the world. The thing is, though, if it's all these benefits, why are people so hesitant? What is holding you back? Here's another thing I want to invite you to put in the comments. Why, assuming that you are at least somewhat hesitant, or what is your fear, or what is holding you back? What are your thoughts on sharing online, in particular on social media? Includes YouTube, podcasting, whatever, just in a digital format. What is holding you back? Why don't you share more on social media? So if you want to go ahead and just pop that in the comments as well, I will check on them in just a bit. But I want to see what your thoughts dovetail with this long list on this page. And I even have them in like the creepy, scary typeface there. This is actually, I'm piecing this together from different workshops that I've done over the years. And one that I did was specifically for creative people. It certainly includes purpose-driven creators. But it's not limited to people in the arts. So that's why that's there. What holds people back, though, from sharing more? Well, the perfection curse. People feel like they have to have everything perfect. They don't want to mess up, right? So they over analyze and think, oh, this is not good enough, when that's not really something you should worry about. They feel like you're bragging. I don't want to be talking about myself. So self-centered. You feel like you're spamming people, which is, again, all these things. I'm not going to take a whole lot of time here, but they are all things that I can easily debunk. And you don't have to do it this way. Do it in a way that's authentic and not spammy. How about who cares? There's so many people. It's so crowded. Who cares what I have to say? Well, no one has your unique perspective. So there's no money in it. Well, maybe that's a good reason for you not to do it. Hopefully you're purpose driven. Fear of rejection. What are people going to think? They're going to make fun of me. They're going to look down on me. They're going to laugh at me. And that's not very realistic either. So many people are worried about copyright infringement. They're going to steal my stuff when really your biggest problem Our challenge is obscurity. It's not copyright infringement. Lack of time. I mean, that's valid, you know. I mean, I understand that people's lives, we are overworked and underpaid in life, but still, if it's important, it doesn't take a lot of time. But consistently carve out 10, 15 minutes here and there, especially if you do it every day, that can add up. You don't need huge blocks of time to do this stuff. Although with some things there is a learning curve involved, I will admit, but it's doable. Lack of money, you know, if you have a smartphone, that's all that you need. You don't need to hire a team. I encourage you to learn it yourself and just do what you can with what you have right where you are. One of my favorite quotes from Teddy Roosevelt. Just confusion. Oh my God, I don't know. It's so bewildering, right? Not knowing what to do. So let me check on some of the comments that have left here. So Anna says, fear of judgment from my network. So I guess your network means people like your peers, perhaps, that will be judging you. Zachariah said, vulnerability. Yeah, because when you're sharing purpose driven, or when you're sharing stuff, especially as an artist, or whether you're sharing a personal experience, it is like, it's not like you're selling a widget or talking about, it's like you're revealing yourself. So there's that feeling of vulnerability. But you just have to know that that's what people relate to. And we have no idea how being honest like that can actually help so many people, especially those going through a similar experience as you've been through. Haven't learned how to navigate many of the sites yet, anxious about negative feedback. Yeah, so I would recommend that you pick one or two primary sites, like one in particular. If you want to add a second one and just don't worry about the others, you can always add them later. So maybe we'll talk about that. Not exactly Not sure exactly what but know how. Lucia says, everything you have listed. Oh my God, that's a ball of anxiety, isn't it? Everything. Almost all of the above. My God. Yeah, Dorley says technology. Yeah, that's amazing. It's so, my God, all these things. That would be a burden. You wouldn't want to leave the house. So let's try to make this easy, okay? So here's my philosophy. What I'm going to talk to you about is it's time to break through and attract and serve your audience. Are you ready to do that? Let's kind of put on our superhero cape and break through these walls, and let's see how we can get on friendly terms with this stuff. So first of all, let's talk about your social media goals. Like, what's your big why? Like, why are you doing this stuff? What's the purpose of doing all of this? And so here are just some reasons. First of all, you can remind people who you are and what you do. I mean, if you're trying to build a reputation or a business as a coach or consultant or something, people have to know about you. I've taught marketing for decades. So before anything can happen, you have to occupy some kind of conscious space in someone's brain so they associate your name with what you do. And so by revealing that and sharing that online, you remind people, oh, that's who you are. That's what you do. And as I mentioned earlier, you reach people you couldn't possibly reach in the 3D world alone. I mean, doing live workshops, live events, face-to-face networking events, very powerful. You should do as much of that as you can, but you're just limiting yourself to geography. You know, there's a whole world out there that you can reach online. So you can attract and engage with readers and followers in an authentic and helpful way. Again, that's why this whole purpose-driven thing is I want you to be authentic. I don't want you to play a role as somebody who you think is a social media influencer. Be yourself and share in a way that's going to help people because you have a gift. And so share it. Live your mission to serve people through your books, your words, your ideas, all those things we listed before. And also it creates opportunities for wider exposure and sales. That if you want to go back, and I think I'm going to send everyone a link not only to the replay of this, but also to the workshops I did earlier this week where I talked about my history and how each thing built upon the previous thing. I can't identify one big moment where I got a big lucky break and something. No, it was all little baby steps that built upon each other for me just being consistent and chipping away at it with my message. And as I went along, new opportunities presented themselves, whether it was media exposure or Berklee College of Music in Boston approaching me to create an online course years ago, or my opportunity to have my book appear in the movie The School of Rock with Jack Black. You know, that came about as a result of just being out there and being discoverable. When people were searching for a certain thing, they would find me because I was just active online. So it creates opportunities you can't even imagine right now. So there's just so many benefits. I want to remind you a couple of things before I jump into all these ways. One is I have put together this free ebook called The Impact Formula. I'm going to pop it in. Most of you may already have this because if you're on my email list, which many of you found out about it that way, let's see here. You already have it. But if you don't, check the welcome email that you got, and there should be a link to it. It's called The Impact Formula: 6 Steps to Grow an Audience, Make an Impact, and Leave a Legacy. So that's a free gift for you. And if you're not on the email list, that will put you on it. My email is called the Abundant Life Newsletter. And I think you really benefit from that. All right. So, but that's basically in very short. So I'm just giving you kind of a big overview of the 6 steps that you can take and that I took to reach a wider audience, to make an impact. And I think I'm already well on my way to leaving a legacy after I'm gone. Also, want to remind you about something that's coming up, a new program. It starts this coming Saturday called Speak, Write, Create 21 Days to Rock Solid Confidence for Purpose Driven Creators. And this is going to hit you from the mindset side and from the practical daily activity of sharing online. I'll tell you more about it later. Just wanted to let you know these are some opportunities for you, but I really hope that you consider this. And again, it starts this Saturday, the 11th. All right. So let's see here. All right, there we go. Oh, and part of this, one of the things that comes with this program is an ebook that I put together. This was the original title of it, Social Media for Artists, Authors, and Creative Entrepreneurs. And because a few years ago, I did actually a 30-day Share Your Creativity Challenge where people were sharing every day for a full month. And so I compiled all the suggestions that I had into this ebook that covers 30 different ways. We're only doing a 21-day thing. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is, in addition to doing affirmations and doing the mindset work of reminding yourself of the value you have to offer the world, and doing that multiple times a day on the mental side of things, the motivation side of things, you're going to pick something out of this ebook every day. And I'm going to be highlighting many of them actually in this particular presentation, and pick something off of there and share it. And don't overcomplicate it, right? So I'm giving you, there's no excuse. You got a whole buffet of ideas. You just pick something, post it online, and you're developing this new habit of sharing so that you can grow an audience, make an impact, and leave a legacy. All right, so I talked about the 5 pillars. So here they are in a nutshell. The 5 basic types of social media posts. These are the most simplified ways of looking at them. And I'm going to show you examples throughout the rest of our time together of examples of ways to post in these different categories. So there's educate. You're informing people of something. You're entertaining them, making them laugh, cry, feel something. Inspire them. Of course, you want to uplift people, right? That's a big part of being a purpose-driven creator. There are certain posts that are meant more for engagement and interaction. And then promote is at the bottom. And you notice that I put promote as the last one, because a lot of people, when they think about posting online, they think, oh, I'm always going to be selling and promoting, and I don't like talking about myself, and I don't want to come off as schmaltzy. That's why it's last. You don't want to avoid it, but you definitely, it's not the main thing that you do. So you're providing value, educating, entertaining, inspiring, engaging with people, and then when you have something to promote, you're going to be more inclined to go, oh, yeah, hey. All right. So let's just dive into. Now we're going to start talking about some actual easy things that you can do. Here's in the educate category. Offer a helpful tip related to your craft or career. I think I've built my whole reputation, even starting back in the 90s when I was building my career as an author of books on music marketing. Again, they've known me since those days, but I built my reputation writing a series of short, free articles that I not only distributed myself, but even before I had my own website, these music websites would reach out to me and say, hey, can we run your articles, our website? The only thing I asked was that at the end of it, I had a little thing that encouraged people to reach out to me to get on my email list where I would give them more tips. That's how I was building an email list back in the 90s. They were just little bite-sized chunks. I've probably freely given away 95% of everything I've ever created. I hold some of that back for paid programs and so on. But yeah, offer just a helpful tip. It doesn't have to be the whole complete guide to whatever that is, but just offer something related to your craft or your career. Here's another easy one. post a photo of your creative workspace. I mean, you might just be something that you do ho hum every day, but for someone who's aspiring maybe to do what you do or just wants to know more about what makes you tick, this could be a fun thing to share. The photo over on the left is something that I got online. That is not my workspace because mine is not nearly that clean. But the photo on the right is a photo I took when I was out at Panera working on a book. And I showed the keyboard, I showed the coffee, and I actually showed the chapter that I was working on. And that was from my book, The Passion Principles. So, yeah, I'm even kind of teasing them with what I'm writing and working on my iPad there. So, and that said something about my office for the day or something. I've done that out in the porch when it's a nice day or we're out on vacation or something, and I'll just show your workspace. Let's see here. Also, in the educate category, highlight a common misconception about your area of expertise. And I got an image there of 5 misconceptions about content marketing. I mean, it could be a whole article that covers 3 to 5 things, or you could just post something short that's just one misconception about your area of expertise. Could that be helpful? What are some misconceptions? No matter what our field is, there are things that you wish people would understand more, and so you could use your social media to clarify those things. All right, let's entertain here. Just share something funny. Humor is a big value of mine. It's why I used to do stand-up comedy. Haven't done it in many years, but I continue to teach and perform improv comedy, which I like because I don't have to memorize any lines. It's like theater. But I love laughing and I love making other people laugh. Continue to do shows around St. Louis, but I try to have that creep through online. Here's kind of a funny thing that I posted. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade or add vodka, whatever works for you. So yeah, you don't have to be so darn serious all the time, especially if humor is a part of your personality or you run across something. As I'll mention throughout this thing, you can find existing images or things to share, or you can create them yourself. I use, like a lot of people, Canva these days. There's both a free and paid version of that, but you can create. I created this in Canva, although I think I found the wording of that somewhere in a search online, created my own version of it with the lemons there. So share something funny. You could tie into, there's different days of the weeks that people do things, and that you may have heard of Throwback Thursday, where people show old photos of themselves. Both of these photos are probably close, if not between 12 and 15 years ago. So on the left there, my wife Pookie's on the left side, and in the middle between us is Marianne Williamson, who she was in town, and our musical, we were running a choir at the time, a group of singers, and we performed during the breaks and stuff. And so we got to meet her afterwards. And so that was lovely. You may recognize over on the right hand side there, oh my God, the queen of affirmations, Louise Hay, when she was alive at a book conference in New York at least 12 years ago. And so, yeah, I got a chance to meet Louise. I actually have an autographed copy of her You Can Heal Your Life DVD that I have on my desk here, along with an autographed copy of Wayne from Wayne Dyer. It was one of his books. I treasure those. So yeah, you can go through your photo archives and post something Throwback Thursday. If it's tied into what you do, great, all the better. Because yeah, both of these. Yeah, I'm a musician, and so we're going, hey, we opened for Marianne Williamson, or performed at her event, and here's a picture with her. At the time that I took this Louise Hay, I wasn't doing affirmations yet. I was still, in fact, the thing hanging from my neck there was when I had darker dyed hair. Was my music marketing book. But little did I know that I would be doing affirmations and carrying on her legacy. And even I'm involved with Hay House now, the company that she founded. You may have heard that, because I've certainly talked about it. So, Throwback Thursday. Here's another way to entertain people. Ask people to fill in the blank. This would also be an engagement. A lot of these kind of overlap, but I put this under entertain, but it can also be engagement because you're asking people to reply. But you could do like a Mad Libs kind of thing. Fill in the blank. I love the smell of blank in the morning. Or the song I'm most embarrassed to admit I love is blank. Oh, Zakiah there, you said you found through Hay House. Does that mean the Hay House app? I've had my affirmations in their app for the past year. So that's awesome. So ask people to fill in the blanks. It's something simple. Again, is this really hard to do? Oh, it's such a chore to do social media. I'm trying to give you ways to make it easy, to make it fun. You don't have to be perfect, right? And so that's something that you could do. Okay, we're going into the Inspire category now, post visual quotes. This is very popular. You can just search Google for inspiring quotes and you can download the image and then upload it to social media. These are a couple that I found. If plan A didn't work, the alphabet has 26 more letters. Stay cool. I like that on the right too. It's kind of falls in, that's definitely humorous. We have creative differences. I'm creative. You're different. That's a good one. And then you could create your own, as I mentioned, using Canva or the design software of your choice. Just sharing inspiring messages. But again, if you can tie this in, depending on where you are in your social sharing journey, if you're new to it or it's been a while or you're still uncomfortable with it, I say get in the habit of sharing anything. You got to build the muscle, the habit of posting on almost daily. I would recommend. I would try to get to that point with something simple. It's not going to take a whole lot of time. So posting anything. As you post more often, you start gaining clarity. This is also in one of the steps that is mentioned in that free impact formula ebook. I talk about this. You're just posting anything, but as you do that, you start dialing things in. You start getting a little more clear about what you want to communicate. And maybe you're already well aware of what your role is. You're a coach, you're a musician, songwriter, whatever that is. And so you're gaining clarity. You're also getting feedback from your audience, finding out what they like, what they're responding to. So you kind of lean it. You do more of what works, less of what doesn't, and you gain clarity as you go. And then you get a little more strategic. And so I think I've gotten to the point where not everything. Sometimes I post family stuff or just silly stuff here and there, but I'm strategically posting things that are going to reinforce who I am, what I do, how I can help people, and I'm genuinely posting things that will uplift people. But that you may not have that clarity at first, so don't think you have to have this all figured out before you can even start. Just start, and the clarity will come. All right, thank your friends, your fans, and your followers. This is something you should do, yeah, kind of on a regular basis. Just come right out and go, hey, I just want to take a moment. You don't all only limit it to like Thanksgiving or something. Oh, that's a good time to do it too. Just said thank you so much for your time and attention. You're reading or consuming, watching, whatever it is, my stuff really means a lot to me. So just thank people and show your appreciation to them. All right. So that's another easy thing to do. Let's see here. So now we get to engagement. So engagement is where you're wanting people to take an action to respond to something. Often it's a question. So yeah, the simplest way is to ask a question. I did the first version of this program back in, actually launched in 2019, but in December of 2018, I was kind of gearing up for it. And so I asked the question, I want to know what holds you back from sharing more of your music, art, words, creativity online. I'll address these obstacles in a series of videos I'll be posting soon. So I had an image there. I had the text, and you can see there I got like 19 comments. So it did a couple of things. It got people to engage with my stuff. It made them aware that I was going to be discussing this topic. It also tells the algorithm, and everything works differently on different platforms. But if somebody's engaging with a piece of content of yours, it's telling the algorithm of that site that, oh, people are enjoying this, they're engaging with it, let's show it to more people. So it has like triple benefits there, right? And I got a lot of feedback, which kind of led to that one slide earlier that I did about all the things that people fear. And so, yeah, so ask questions and create things that are engaging. So here's a professional tip. Either or questions inspire more engagement. So asking something simple like paper or plastic, MP3 download or streaming. Do you prefer paper books or ebooks? Of course, you can have an example that's more fitting with what it is that you do, but it's super easy for people to respond to an either or question as opposed to, what's your philosophy on life? Or what is the secret to living a long, you can do those longer introspective ones, but if someone has to write a whole full paragraph and they have to take the time to think, you're not going to get nearly as much engagement as if you make it easy for them. So you see, there's a pattern here. Make it easy for yourself to share these things, but also make it easy for people to respond and engage and all that stuff. So either questions tend to get a lot more responses, which leads to all those benefits that I mentioned before. All right, how are we doing, kids? You enjoying this? All right. Let's talk about engage some more solicit questions. So you just ask, you can do this randomly. And anytime you have any questions about coaching or about the songwriting process or being a doula, just ask them about questions about your field of expertise. Or you could have a regular segment like a Q&A Friday. Another thing I want to point out is you can take any of these ideas and do them in any number of formats. You could do them in text. You can do them with an image. If you want to be ambitious, I encourage you to use video as much as possible. You could record a video of you asking these questions, talking about these things. Have people maybe submit text questions, and then you create little short videos to answer them. That's a great way to come up with new ideas that are relevant to your audience because you're answering their specific questions about what you do. You don't have to answer everyone. The ones that are most meaningful, you have something insightful to say, or you can answer in text, whatever. Audio, if it's like a podcast type of thing. So solicit questions about your craft or your field. Ask your followers to name their favorite. This is another, so you might ask them, what's your favorite song? So you can start broad or you can get more and more specific. So sometimes the more specific the question is, the better it is. I'm just going to check in on Crystal says Q&A Friday on Microsoft Excel or Microsoft. Well, that's right, because Crystal's positioning herself as a one of the things she does, a tech expert, which that would be cool. Yeah, Q&A Friday. So you can ask a generic question like, "What's your favorite song?" which is good. How about what's your favorite love song? A little more specific. What's your favorite Latin love song? Or even better, what's your favorite song that has a car reference in the title? Or you can do something that's kind of funny. Here I'm kind of hitting them from all different angles. You're stuck in an 80s music video. Which song would it be? That's like a very specific and kind of fun way to word a question. Or you could use the either or approach. Quick, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Mustang Sally or Lay Down Sally? So there's any number of ways that you can do this, but if you have more specificity, especially if there's something clever or funny about the question, I think you might get more engagement. In fact, going through this workshop is getting my wheels turning on some things I should be doing that would be kind of fun. See, I'm both the teacher and the student at the same time. Right? Here's some really cool stuff. When we come to promotion, everybody goes, "Oh, I don't want to talk about myself." Great. You don't have to all the time. You should at some point get comfortable about letting people know when you have stuff available, but there's other ways to do it. Celebrate someone else's accomplishment. So a friend of mine, Mariana, she lives in Turin, Italy, and she a few years ago put out a coloring, I guess an adult coloring book, hand-drawn images of Turin for you to color. And she mailed me a copy. And she was actually a musician who'd followed me years ago, my music marketing books. I just exchanged messages with her the other day. She has another book out. But she sent this to me, and I took a photo of it, and I posted it online. Hey, Mariana, my friend, just put this out, congratulating her. And so it's shining the light on somebody else, and it does a number of things. It shows you that I'm celebrating creative endeavors. It's reminding me that I'm encouraging creative people and to people to express themselves, and it's giving her a little exposure too. And it wasn't hard for me to do. I just took a picture of it. Congratulations, probably tagged her in it, And so give other people a shout out. It's not just about you. All right. Here's another couple of examples. My friend Maria put out a small book of favorite appetizers there on the left. And we were at an event where she was actually in the kitchen. They're preparing some of the food, and she had a copy. I said, "Let me get a picture of you holding your book so I could then share it." And you could see there, yeah, there's my post. I'm so proud of Maria for publishing her first cookbook. Welcome to the Published Author Club. I tagged her, and then look at all these people that are commenting on it. And then she responded to their comments. So I got a lot of engagement on this post. It wasn't about me at all. But again, I'm reinforcing the idea that I'm celebrating people that are expressing themselves and taking action in the world. And then another friend over there on the right-hand side was having a musical fundraiser event, got a picture with her and shared that online as well. So give someone a shout out, share their event or their photo. It's not all about you, but you kind of get as a byproduct, it reinforces who you are and what you do. You can do this with your clients or just whatever. So just think about how you can apply this to yourself. Here's another way to promote. Share a glowing review, a comment, or publicity that you've received. Whenever you get like third party validation, kind words from other people, go ahead and screenshot it and share that. I do that every now and then when I get like a glowing comment on YouTube about how something, my affirmations or something has changed their life. I will get that and share it. And, this is why I continue to do what I do to get, feedback like this lets me know that I'm doing something good. And so, people might look at it as bragging, but I think it's an honest expression of my gratitude. So here, my friend Warren, this is something that he left on an Amazon review. So here's the thing about like not the legalities, but the ethics of this. If somebody sends me a personal email or a DM, it's just between them, I'll ask them permission first. I just won't automatically grab it, like, unless I leave their name out of it. I don't know. But yeah, I try to get, but if they post it publicly on Amazon or to their Facebook profile or Instagram or something, it's pretty much fair game because they're putting it out into the public. So I can screenshot that and feel pretty good that they're going to be okay with that. And if you get publicity, absolutely get that screenshot or provide a link to where you were covered, an interview, whatever it it is. So that way you're not having to talk about yourself. You're letting other people let the world know how cool you are, the value that you bring to the world. There's some other ways that I promoted. A guy named Dan Rubright. He's actually a guitar player from St. Louis. I did some coaching with him a while back, and I encouraged him to pursue some media exposure that he ended up getting because he was a little hesitant to reach out to this guy, and he ended up getting a nice write up. And so I posted that. When my book, The Passion Principles, came out, I saw somebody I know, Robin, posted this on Facebook. So you can bet I grabbed a screenshot of that and shared it. She goes, I read a copy of this already. What a great book. Secure your copy. So inspiring, blah, blah, blah. Well done. So don't just keep it to yourself. Let other people do your bragging for you and then share that with them because they're not going to necessarily see it on their own. And then you can directly promote your product, service, or event. This is that final category that we mentioned at the fifth one of the five. Here's my friend Carol. She had a book come out some years ago called Just Be Yourself, Your Guide to Improving Any Relationship. And she just posted it. She goes, here it is. To those who have been asking for years, when is your book coming out? Here it comes. She's letting people know. And so it's fine to toot your own horn, especially when you've got the release of a new book or a new album or whatever, or you're finally able to, you got your certification in yoga or coaching or whatever it is. Yeah, go ahead and brag about that. And it's fine. Nobody's going to be faulting you for that. So yeah, every night, again, you don't do this with every post, but you directly promote your product, your service. Hey, I'm doing a workshop. How did you find out about it? Me telling you about it and promoting it probably repeatedly. Hopefully it wasn't too annoying, but I know people are distracted. And so some people who are really paying attention might go, okay, Bob, I've heard this about this 2 or 3 times, but most people, after 3 times you reach out to them, they still haven't heard about it. They're not checking their email. So if it's something important, I will repeatedly let people know. And hopefully you're coming here and you're going, yeah, I got a lot out of this. I'm glad that I came. So I'm a kind of a living example of all of these things. Something simple that you can do. I just took a picture of a page from one of my books and posted it there with brief text and got a few comments on it. So that way they get a little sample of this bite-sized sample of a chapter there. So these are just some of the 30 ways that are in that ebook that you get with the program. So I want to talk a little bit more about that as a matter of fact. So what I want you to do, what I'm encouraging you to do, I assume that you're here because this topic intrigued you and maybe, again, you've been hesitant, been uncertain. Maybe you were fearful, or like some of you said, everything on that list you felt, but maybe you're not fearful. Maybe you're ready to step out, but you're just confused and don't know what to do, and you just haven't developed the muscle. But I want you to build your social media confidence and the habits. So there's 2 steps to this. There's the mental and the physical, the actions that you take. And that's, again, I want you to seriously consider Speak, Write, Create, 21 Days to Rock Solid Confidence. I'm going to show you, I think you're going to be able to see this. I'm going to show you what it actually looks like when you sign up for the program. This is the course page. And so, oops, this thing is, there we go, starting to timeout on me. Speak, write, create. So this is what you'll get. This I'm using a website called Kajabi to house the course, the audio and video, and the PDF components of this. And so this whole start here, how to get the most out of the program. Got the Zoom call links. We're going to have 3 Zoom calls. The first one is this coming Saturday. They all start at, they're 3 Saturdays in a row, starts at 10 a.m. Eastern. And beginning this January the 11th, you got a one-page confidence impact tracker where you can check off the number of times you listened to affirmations and then and what you posted and where you posted it. And there's some other things there. I'm actually going to read, and then here's this section with daily where you get 3 different audios: powerful I am affirmations, there's you are affirmations with a pep talk, sleep affirmations for bedtime, there's a guided visualization with a really cool like media interview role playing exercise. I got a video there that I did called How to Develop Unstoppable Confidence based on science. And then there's that PDF, the 30 easy social media sharing ideas. We covered a number of them, but there's still a whole bunch in there. And then I did a workshop similar to this called the 5 Pillars of Purpose-Driven Social Media, where you kind of get another, yeah, you'll be able to get access to that as well. But I always want to cover something here real quickly. This really explains it better than I can riffing on it spontaneously here. But this program is designed to transform your mindset and kickstart your habit of sharing your gifts with the world. Here's how it works. Every day, immerse yourself in the power of affirmations and visualization. You'll start your day strong by listening to at least one audio session in the morning and then end the day with sleep affirmations track. And for best results, listen multiple times a day. I mean, I really want you to lean into this for this 21-day period, because you may have heard 21 days is kind of the minimum of starting to develop a new habit. And so listen in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night. And you have 4 different audio tracks to choose from, so you don't get bored listening to the same thing over and over. So keep it fresh. You can mix them up. And each time you listen, you're rewiring your mind for confidence, clarity, and purpose. And those of you who are familiar with my affirmations know how powerful that can be. But then there's the action part where you're developing a sharing habit. Now it's time to take action. Choose one primary platform to focus on during the program, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, totally up to you. I'm a big fan of a blogging platform called Substack, which is how I'm delivering my emails now. But it's up to you. Pick the one that you feel most drawn to. And also think about the various ways you can communicate. There's the written word, there's video, there's audio, there's images. So you might focus on one form of expression or mix them up. Again, it's totally up to you. So each day you open up that 30 ways that easy social media sharing ideas ebook, choose one idea, as I mentioned earlier, and then share it on your chosen platform. And this is really important. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Don't strive for perfection. Just share something, anything. The key is to take consistent daily action and build momentum. All right. And this habit of sharing will not only boost your confidence, but also help you find your voice and connect with an audience. And so that's kind of in a nutshell what you get with the program. And you get lifetime access to this. And there are 3 levels that you can join at, but the basic level where you get access to all that stuff I just showed you is only $47. You know, one halfway decent meal out at a restaurant. And then you'll get the support. You'll get to meet other people going through the program, through the Zoom calls, and then a couple other options. One being you can actually get a one-on-one session with me to clarify things as you go along. So I got some more things to share with you, and then we're going to do a little cute Q&A. I appreciate you all still being here and rolling along. Again, I put that link earlier in the chat. I'm just going to pop it in there again, where you can sign up, or you can learn more about it, but then go ahead and sign up. And again, we start Saturday, so now is the time. It's actually com/rock. All right, so as you get more comfortable with sharing online, you want to do things like include a call to action. CTA is the acronym in marketing terms. So what do you want people to do when they consume each piece of content? Is it to get on your email list? Is it to register for an event? Is it like I just had a call to action for you to sign up for the program? Do you want them to read more? Do you want them to share this thing, subscribe, leave a comment? There's actually more. I probably could have updated that list there. Could be attend, purchase, you know. So what do you want people to do? And make sure that you're asking them to do it within that piece of content that you're posting. You don't have to do it every time, but Even the simple engagement things, leave a comment, fill in the blank, ask your question. And that leads to engagement and then further relationships that you're building with people. And so those are the five basic types of social media posts. Either educating, entertaining, inspiring, engaging, or promoting something. And again, some of those will hit two or more of those categories at the same time, but those are the ways to think about it. So mix things up. Again, you get a copy of that PDF when you join the 21-day program. So here's the basic level. Tailor your approach to where you are on this social media sharing journey, right? Hmm. At first, just develop the habit of regular posting without overthinking it. I don't care what you're posting. If you develop the habit of doing it daily, just like working out, start with small weights, just do something. You can get more detailed as you go along. Just get comfortable doing it, period. And then when you're ready, you can get more strategic with the content choices that you make. And some of you may already be at that level where you're kind of ready to up your game, perhaps. And if not, that's fine too. The key when you do get a little more strategic is to get laser focused on who you want to attract. Again, you may have a clear idea of that right off from the get go, or it may take time to dial that in. In fact, this term purpose driven creators is something I've been using in recent months. It's similar to what I've done in the past, but I'm kind of dialing my brand in. I'm going to, because I'm not, it's an attempt to combine the work I've been doing on YouTube for the last 8 years with the work that I've done for decades with creatives on marketing and how to build an audience and all that. I'm trying to meld the two together instead of having all these different buckets that I'm trying to simplify my life, you might say. So while I continue to do more of the generic affirmations, I'm going to be focusing my message more and more on attracting these type of purpose-driven creators because I think I have a lot of wisdom in this area that I want to help people with. So who do you want to attract? Who's your ideal customer? Avatar is a marketing term, basically who's that demographic, who's the fan, the follower. What are their greatest pain points and aspirations? Knowing that is going to help you create the content that's going to speak to those things. You want to communicate how you provide the perfect solution. So like when it comes up to where they're ready to hire a coach or purchase a book or make a further investment in this thing, you will have already proven yourself as an expert in that topic. And so they're going to think of you, right? And so that's why just doing all these free things, you're not making money necessarily in the early going. You're just genuinely motivated by a true purpose of helping people. That's a strategic thing that you can do. You're planting seeds that when you have offers or when they're ready, they'll think of you because you've proven that you are a source of information on that, or especially if you've made them feel something, feel better. You've given them a solution to a problem for free in your posts, then they're going to be more likely to pay you if you offer something. You don't have to. You can just do this totally, as a service, but there's nothing wrong with if you want to make some money from it too. It's also going to get focus on what you offer. Yeah, what are you selling? What are you creating awareness about? And that's really, that's, again, is something you may dial in over time and why you want to provide this solution. So you just get more and more focused the more you do it. All right. I'm going to show you some examples here, and then we're about to ready to wrap this up. So I actually have a number of examples from Hay House authors, since I'm a big Hay House fan, and I'm involved with that company now, as I mentioned. So Kristen Butler is a Hay House author, and she has a couple of Instagram accounts, but this one's called The Power of Positivity. Look at that, 9.5 million followers of this account. And really all she does is post these like feel-good sayings and slogans. And if you go to that Instagram account, it's just filled with images with these, positive statements. And then every now and then when she got something to promote, like her instant positivity book, she posted that. But there's very minimal self-promotion on this particular thing. But wow, it's got 9.5 million followers. That's pretty huge. So that's Kristen Butler. This is a guy, I don't know his name actually, but this is a YouTube channel where this guy interviews mostly older people and asks them about their philosophy on life, and what do you wish you would have known when you were younger, and questions like that. And he's got, I think, 900,000, this is close to 1 million subscribers on that channel. So that's the way he's making people these, I guess, providing inspiration and insight and, and philosophy and perspective from and kind of focusing on older people primarily. And then you may have heard of Mel Robbins. She's got like 3.5 million subscribers on YouTube. And she has a new book coming out. What's it called? The Let Them Theory. I think it's what it's called, which I think, and she's on Hay House. And a friend of mine who works for Hay House was saying it's probably going to be their best-selling book of the year. It just came out recently. Oprah featured it. She was just on the Today Show. So you probably have heard of her. But look, this is actually the whatever 12 most recent videos on YouTube. That's all like stuff that's meant to help people, right? Or she's either talking solo on her podcast or she's interviewing somebody, but it's all focused on helping people. And then somebody I became aware of a year ago that my wife is a big devotee of is Dr. Mindy Pels. She just surpassed 1 million subscribers on her YouTube channel. And she's all about like women's health in particular, fasting, ketogenic diet, that type of thing. And I've heard her speak, and she is on a mission to educate women in particular about their bodies and their hormones and things like that. It's really highly focused, and she just cranks out stuff all the time. All this free stuff that's helpful. And then she's got, but you can purchase the book, and she's got a membership site and all this stuff. So she's doing all right. Before we move on, I want to just take a look at these last three things. What do you notice about these YouTube channels? So here's the guy that interviews the older people, Mel Robbins, Dr. Mindy Pels. What do you notice about the consistency of all this? All those visual representations are called thumbnails. You may or may not know. So that's what you see before you click on the video to watch it. There's a consistent branding there, right? And so, again, you don't have to worry about this until you've done this for a while. Then you could dial these things in. But that's just another way that you can be recognizable, and people will see. Oh, I can tell what type of video that is based on the design of the thumbnail. So those are just some examples there. Again, I want to remind you and highly encourage you to join us on Speak, Write, Create 21 Days to Rock Solid Confidence for Purpose-Driven Creators, because I want you to develop the habit. And you can just lean in for 21 days, but then you'll have access to all that stuff and just return to it or use it. You can continue going for 21 days. You can take a break, come back, whatever. But I hope that you continue sharing. My whole goal here is for you to make a difference. If you're really purpose driven and you really want to help people, you want to make a difference in people's lives. You want to grow your audience so that you can make a difference in more lives as time goes on. It's fine to have a small following. So there's a lot of people, you can still do a lot of good, even no matter what the size of your following is. And then leaving a legacy. I guess maybe I'm thinking about that more because I'm in my 60s now. I'm thinking more about, and I think I've done a pretty good job of that for decades, maybe after I'm gone. People will still be discovering my stuff. And if my daughter wants to take on the responsibility of sharing my stuff and managing my estate and all that, she's got tons of material to work with if she chooses to do that. But even not just on YouTube alone for years, people will continue to discover the videos, So I don't know if that's an aspiration of yours, but it is for me.